In 1953, the average British housewife spent 5.5 hours a day cleaning. No Dyson, no antibacterial spray, no steam mop. Yet her house was spotless, and her whites were whiter than anything your Persil non-bio has ever produced. Number 14 on this list was so effective that a major cleaning brand quietly studied it in the 1990s, then sold the same principle back to us at 40 times the price. And number 3 involves a substance you almost certainly have in your kitchen cupboard right now, one that outperforms every branded surface cleaner on the market. Here is the truth. If you knew what your grandmother knew, you would throw out half the bottles under your kitchen sink. Before we start, hit that subscribe button, because what you are about to learn might actually change how you clean your home. Let us count down the 20 cleaning rituals that vanished from British households. Number 20. The Monday Wash Day Ritual. Monday was washing day in every terraced street across Britain. Not Tuesday, not whenever it suited. Monday. Your mother would rise before dawn, light the copper boiler in the scullery, and begin sorting clothes into strict piles. Whites first, always. Then coloreds. Then darks. The woolens last, washed separately in lukewarm water to prevent shrinking. The copper boiler took an hour to heat. She would shave a bar of Sunlight soap into the water, watching the flakes dissolve into frothy suds. Whites went in with a handful of washing soda, boiled for 20 minutes, then lifted with wooden tongs into the Dolly tub for agitation. That smell of boiling linen and soap filled the entire house and drifted out into the street, where every neighbor knew exactly what stage you were at. The whole ritual took from 6 in the morning until mid-afternoon. Hanging out came next, weather permitting. If it rained, the maiden went up in the kitchen and the house disappeared into damp fog until Thursday. A bar of Sunlight cost about 4 pence in 1952. The entire weekly wash cost less than a shilling, and every pillowcase came out bleached white by sheer effort and boiling water. Modern detergent pods cost 50 pence each and still cannot match that level of whiteness. Number 19. Newspaper for windows. Before Windoline, before Mr. Muscle, before every branded glass cleaner on the Tesco shelf, your mother cleaned windows with old newspaper and a splash of vinegar water. She would mix 1 part white vinegar with 2 parts warm water in a tin basin, scrunch up yesterday's Daily Mirror, dip it in, and wipe the glass in firm circular strokes. The printer's ink acted as a mild abrasive, polishing the surface to a streak-free shine that no modern product has ever matched. A bottle of vinegar cost about 4 pence and lasted months. The newspaper was free once it had been read. Every Saturday morning, the front windows got done first because the neighbors would see. The backs could wait until the afternoon. That sharp tang of vinegar meant the weekend had begun. Window cleaners charged 6 pence a house in the mid-1950s. Your mother saved that 6 pence and did a better job herself. When spray-on glass cleaners arrived in the 1970s, this ritual vanished almost overnight. Yet professional window cleaners today will tell you quietly that vinegar and newspaper still outperforms anything in a bottle. In northern mill towns from Blackburn to Bradford, the front step was sacred. Every Friday evening or Saturday morning, your mother would kneel on a folded cloth and scrub the stone doorstep with a donkey stone, a block of ground sandstone mixed with bleach powder and cement, shaped like a small brick. She would wet the step, rub the donkey stone across it in even strokes, then buff it smooth until the stone turned a uniform cream or pale yellow. Some streets preferred white stones. Others favored the traditional yellow. Woe betide the woman whose step was a different shade from her neighbors. A donkey stone cost about 2 pence from the rag and bone man and lasted 2 to 3 weeks. The ritual was as much about pride as it was about cleanliness. An undonkeyed step told the entire street you had let your standards slip. Children were forbidden from walking on the wet step until it dried. Fathers stepped over it carefully. The postman learned which houses to approach with caution. By the 1960s, council houses began replacing stone steps with concrete, and the tradition died within a decade. But in some Lancashire streets, women carried on well into the 1980s, kneeling in all weathers, polishing stone that nobody else cared about anymore. That was the point. They cared. Number 17. Salt on the hearthrug. When soot fell from the chimney onto the hearthrug, and in the 1950s this happened constantly in coal-heated homes, your mother did not reach for a vacuum. She scattered a thick layer of table salt over the soot, left it for 30 minutes, then swept it up with a stiff brush. The salt absorbed the oily soot particles, preventing them from grinding deeper into the fibers. Without this trick, a single chimney fall could ruin a rug that cost 3 weeks' wages. A bag of saxa cost about 4p. The hearthrug cost anything from 10 shillings to £2. The mathematics were simple. Salt also worked on red wine spills, grease marks, and the muddy boot prints children left on the parlor carpet. Your grandmother kept a dish of salt on the mantelpiece, specifically for cleaning emergencies. Modern carpet stain removers contain sodium chloride as an active ingredient. It is the same compound your grandmother scooped from the salt cellar for free. Number 16. Black-leading the range. The kitchen range was the heart of the house, and it had to shine. Every week, often on a Friday evening, your mother would apply Zebo or Zebra black-lead paste to the cast iron range with a stiff brush, working it into every surface until the metal gleamed like polished jet. The paste, a mixture of graphite and wax, protected the iron from rust while giving it that deep, mirror-like finish that showed the neighbors you kept a proper home. A tin of Zebo cost about 6p and lasted a month. The ritual demanded elbow grease and patience. Your mother would work in old clothes, her hands stained grey-black, buffing with a soft cloth until she could see her reflection in the hob plate. Children knew to stay out of the kitchen during black-leading. The smell of graphite and turpentine meant mother was busy. When gas and electric cookers replaced the range in the 1960s, black-leading disappeared almost overnight. An entire category of skill was wiped out by stainless steel. Number 15. The Dolly Blue Rinse. White sheets and shirts coming off the washing line sometimes carried a yellowish tinge, no matter how hard they had been scrubbed. Your mother's answer was Reckitt's Dolly Blue, a small muslin bag of synthetic ultramarine tied to a stick and swirled through the final rinse water. The blue dye counteracted the yellow, making whites appear brilliantly, almost impossibly white. It was an optical trick, not actual cleaning, but the results were astonishing. A Dolly Blue bag cost about 3p and lasted several washes. Your mother would dip it carefully, watching the water turn pale blue, judging by eye when the concentration was right. Too much, and the sheets came out with a blue tinge. Too little, and the yellowness remained. That judgment, learned from watching her own mother, was a skill no instruction leaflet could teach. Optical brighteners are now standard in every major washing powder. Persil, Daz, and Bold all contain fluorescent whitening agents that work on the same principle that Reckitt sold for 3p a bag in 1955. First pattern break. Here is where things get interesting. That humble tin of bicarbonate of soda sitting in your mother's kitchen cupboard was the most versatile cleaning product in the entire house. It cost about 4p in the 1950s, and it replaced what we now buy as 6 or 7 separate branded products. Your mother would sprinkle it on a damp cloth to scour the sink. She mixed it with vinegar to unblock drains. She scattered it on carpets to absorb odors. She soaked tea-stained cups in a bicarbonate solution until they gleamed. She even added a teaspoon to the laundry to soften hard water. Here is the remarkable part. In 2018, researchers at Sheffield Hallam University tested bicarbonate of soda against 5 leading kitchen surface cleaners. Bicarbonate matched or outperformed every single one for removing common household bacteria. A kilogram bag costs about 70 pence today. The branded sprays cost £3 to £4 each. We are paying a premium for scented water when the answer has been sitting in the baking cupboard since 1952. Number 13. Vinegar and brown paper for bruised furniture. When wooden furniture got scratched or scuffed, your mother reached for malt vinegar and brown paper. She would soak a piece of thick brown wrapping paper in vinegar, lay it over the damaged area, and press it gently with a warm iron. The steam and acidity caused the compressed wood fibers to swell back into shape, reducing the appearance of dents and shallow scratches. The whole process took about 10 minutes and cost absolutely nothing. This trick appeared in Women's Institute handbooks as early as the 1930s and was still being demonstrated at village fêtes in the 1970s. The science is sound. Wood fibers compress on impact, but can be partially restored by introducing moisture and heat. Modern furniture repair kits cost anywhere from £5 to £30, and they work on essentially the same principle, rehydrating crushed wood grain. Your grandmother did it with leftover chip paper and the contents of the cruet set. Number 12. Tea leaves on the carpet. Before vacuum cleaners became affordable, your mother kept used tea leaves in a covered dish by the range. When the parlor carpet needed freshening, she would scatter damp tea leaves across the surface, leave them for 10 minutes, then sweep them up with a stiff broom. The moist leaves trapped dust, absorbed odors, and picked up pet hair and loose threads as they were swept, leaving the carpet clean and faintly fragrant. A week's worth of tea leaves cost nothing. Your family was drinking the tea anyway. The trick worked on rugs, runners, and even bare floorboards. Some mothers added dried lavender to the tea leaves for extra scent. When Hoover began advertising affordable upright vacuum cleaners in the late 1950s, the tea leaf ritual died within a generation. Yet the principle of using damp material to trap airborne dust is exactly how modern electrostatic cleaning cloths work. We repackaged our grandmother's common sense and sold it back in plastic. Number 11. Soda crystals for everything. Washing soda crystals, not to be confused with bicarbonate of soda, were the heavy artillery of the 1950s cleaning cupboard. Your mother dissolved a handful in hot water to cut through grease on the cooker top, to strip burnt residue from pans, to clean the lavatory, and to wash the kitchen floor. One bag did the work of an entire shelf of modern products. A £2 bag of washing soda cost about 5 pence in the early 1950s. It shifted grease, softened water, removed limescale, and deodorized drains. Your mother kept it on a high shelf because it was caustic on bare skin. The crystals dissolved instantly in hot water, fizzing slightly, releasing a clean mineral scent that meant serious cleaning was happening. Modern descaling products, oven cleaners, and drain unblockers all contain sodium carbonate as a primary ingredient. The same compound your grandmother bought in a paper bag from the hardware shop. Number 10. Starching shirt collars. Your mother mixed a paste of robin starch powder and cold water, then added boiling water, stirring until the mixture turned translucent. She would dip shirt collars and cuffs into this solution, wring them gently, and iron them while still damp. The starch stiffened the fabric, gave it a crisp finish, and created a barrier that repelled dirt throughout the day. A box of robin starch cost about 8 pence and lasted weeks. The ritual happened every Sunday evening, collars dipped and left to dry overnight, ready for Monday morning. The stiff white collar was a mark of respectability. A limp collar told the world your wife had standards to answer for. Spray starch arrived in the 1970s, and the mixing ritual vanished. but spray starch costs around £3 a tin and delivers only a fraction of the stiffness. Professional launderers still use liquid starch mixed from powder because it creates a superior finish. They charge £5 a shirt for what your mother did for free on the kitchen table. Number 9. Blacking the grate with a rabbit skin. After applying black lead to the range, the final polish came from an unexpected tool. Your mother kept a dried rabbit skin, fur side out, specifically for buffing the blacked grate to a mirror finish. The natural oils in the fur gave the graphite coating a deep, lustrous shine that cloth could not replicate. Some families used the same rabbit skin for years, hanging it on a hook inside the scullery door. A rabbit skin cost nothing if the family ate rabbit, and most did in the 1950s. The skin was cured with salt, dried, and kept soft by occasional use. This was recycling before the word existed. Every part of the animal served a purpose. The meat went into stew, the bones into stock, the skin into the cleaning cupboard. Now here is where the cleaning industry gets properly devious. In 1956, the average British household spent about 2 shillings and 6pence a week on cleaning products. Soap, soda crystals, vinegar, black lead, and starch. That was the entire arsenal. By 2024, the average household spends over £12 a week on cleaning products, according to the Office for National Statistics. What changed? Not dirt. Houses are smaller now. We have fewer coal fires. The dirt load has actually decreased. What changed was marketing. In 1958, ITV began broadcasting advertisements for household cleaners. Ajax, Flash, Vim, each one promised to do something your existing products could not. Manufacturers created categories that had never existed: bathroom cleaner, kitchen cleaner, floor cleaner, glass cleaner, toilet cleaner, each one designed to make you feel that using the wrong product was dangerous, unhygienic, or simply common. Your grandmother used soda crystals and hot water on all of these surfaces. She was not being lazy. She was being efficient. The science supported her. Sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate are effective against the same bacteria that modern cleaners target. We did not upgrade, we were upsold. Your mother dried lavender from the garden every August, stripped the flowers from the stems, and sewed them into small muslin pouches. These lavender bags went into every wardrobe, every chest of drawers, and between the folded sheets in the airing cupboard. The scent kept moths away from woolens, freshened stored linen, and made the entire bedroom smell clean without a single spray. A garden full of lavender cost nothing once established. Even families without gardens could buy dried lavender at the market for a few pence. The bags were renewed each summer. Old lavender went onto the fire or into the compost. The ritual connected the cleaning calendar to the seasons. August meant lavender, September meant mothballs were packed away, and the fresh bags took over. Modern moth repellent products cost between £3 and £8 and contain synthetic chemicals. Research at the University of Innsbruck has shown lavender oil to be effective against common clothes moth larvae. Your grandmother's garden provided the same protection for free. Every brass fitting in the house, from door handles to fire irons to the letterbox, was polished weekly with a paste made from whiting powder and a few drops of household ammonia. Your mother would mix the chalk white powder into a thick paste, rub it onto the brass with a rag, let it dry to a white crust, then buff it away to reveal gleaming metal. A bag of whiting cost about 4pence from the ironmonger. A bottle of ammonia was 2pence. Together they cleaned every piece of brass in the house for months. The ritual often fell to the eldest daughter, who was taught the technique as part of her household education. There was the circular rubbing motion, the patience to let the paste dry fully, and the vigorous buffing at the end. These were skills passed from mother to daughter like any recipe. espresso arrived and promised convenience, but the old-timers swore by whiting paste because it left no residue. Today, professional antique restorers still use whiting paste. They call it traditional. Your grandmother called it Thursday. Number 5. The weekly turnout. Once a week, usually on a Thursday or Friday, the parlor got a thorough turnout. Everything movable came out of the room: chairs, rugs, ornaments, cushions. The room was stripped bare. Your mother swept the floor, washed the skirting boards with soda water, wiped down the picture rails, cleaned the windows, and beat the rugs outside on the washing line with a carpet beater. That carpet beater, usually cane or wicker, delivered a satisfying crack with each strike. Clouds of dust billowed from the rug. Children took turns, treating it as a game until their arms ached. The rug was then left to air while the room dried. Everything went back in by tea time, and the parlor smelled of soap and fresh air. This ritual maintained homes without central heating or air filtration. The weekly removal of dust, combined with open windows and the physical beating of soft furnishings, controlled dust mites, allergens, and damp. Modern allergy specialists now recommend regular deep cleaning and airing of textiles. Your grandmother's weekly turnout was precisely that. Number 4. Bread for wallpaper cleaning. When wallpaper grew dingy with coal soot and cooking smoke, your mother did not repaper. She took a thick slice of day-old white bread, removed the crusts, and rubbed it across the wallpaper in gentle downward strokes. The soft dough picked up soot and grime like an eraser, leaving the pattern visibly brighter. She would fold the bread to a clean surface and continue until the whole wall was done. A loaf cost about 9 pence. The stale bread that nobody wanted to eat became the tool that saved wallpaper, costing several shillings a roll. The gluten in the bread acted as a natural adhesive for soot particles, lifting them away without wetting or damaging the delicate paper. Some mothers swore by a specific thickness of slice, about 1 inch, claiming anything thinner tore too easily. This technique appeared in Good Housekeeping magazine as late as 1968. Commercial wallpaper cleaning dough appeared in the 1970s, marketed as an innovation. It was bread without the crust, sold in a tin at 30 times the price. Number 3. Cold tea for wood floors. Your mother saved the dregs from the teapot, strained them into a basin, and used cold tea to mop wooden floorboards. The tannic acid in the tea cleaned the wood, enhanced the color of dark boards, and left a subtle sheen without the slippery residue of wax or polish. She would wring the mop almost dry and work in the direction of the grain, allowing the floor to air dry in minutes. A day's worth of tea dregs cleaned the entire kitchen floor. The cost was zero. The tannic acid acted as a natural antiseptic and gave the wood a warm, rich tone that improved with repeated applications over months. In 2019, researchers at the University of Manchester tested tannic acid against standard floor cleaning products. The results showed comparable antibacterial action against E. coli and Staphylococcus. Your grandmother was disinfecting her kitchen floor with leftover breakfast tea, and the science says she was right. Meanwhile, we spend £4 on a bottle of floor cleaner that leaves a sticky film she would have found unacceptable. Number 2. Elbow grease and the scrubbing board. Before the washing machine, every garment, every sheet, every towel passed through your mother's hands on a ribbed wooden scrubbing board propped in the kitchen sink. She would rub wet fabric up and down the board, working soap into collars, cuffs, and stains with bare knuckles or a bristle brush. The corrugated surface agitated dirt loose without damaging the weave. A scrubbing board cost about 2 shillings and lasted a decade. The physical effort was enormous. Housewives developed powerful forearms and aching backs. Washday blisters were common. But the results were undeniable. ground in dirt from factory overalls, coal dust from miners' shirts, grass stains from children's shorts. All of it came out through friction and determination. When twin-tub washing machines appeared in the early 1960s at around £40, most families celebrated the end of the scrubbing board. But the machines often failed to shift stubborn stains, and many women kept their boards as a backup. Leeds University confirmed in 2020 that mechanical agitation combined with alkaline soap removes protein-based stains more effectively than enzyme detergents alone. Your grandmother's knuckles knew what the lab took 70 years to prove. Number 1. The daily doorstep pride. Above everything else, the one cleaning ritual that defined the 1950s British housewife was the daily attention to the front doorstep. Every morning, before the children left for school, your mother swept the front step, wiped the door handle, polished the letterbox, and checked that the net curtains hung straight. This was not vanity. In streets where everyone could see, a dirty step meant a dirty reputation. The entire ritual took less than 10 minutes, but it set the standard for the day. It told the neighbors, the postman, and anyone passing that this house was cared for, that the woman inside had pride. There was no product required, just a brush, a cloth, and the will to begin each day by putting your best face forward. The daily doorstep was not about cleaning, it was about dignity. When front gardens were paved over for car parking and both parents began working full-time, the ritual faded. But ask anyone over 70, and they will tell you that 5 minutes every morning was the foundation everything else was built on. Here is my challenge. Try one of these this week. Just one. Then come back and tell me if your grandmother was just old-fashioned, or if she actually knew something the cleaning aisle at Sainsbury's would rather you forgot. Share which one you are going to try in the comments. Because these were not just cleaning rituals. They were wisdom that corporations spent billions to replace. Your grandmother knew. Now you know too.